Deep breath. Faithful. Because tonight's rundown can flip the feel of this season. There's a bold trade concept picking up smoke, a long cornerback getting a look in Santa Clara, a heartbeat of the offense trending toward a return to practice, and the gut-punch reality of losing your defensive captain for the year. Nothing is settled, but the board is moving. What does it mean for the NFC chase? Who gains snaps? Who loses leverage? And how does Kyle Shanahan redraw the plan right now? You won't believe what we've got today, so hit that like button, lock in, and let's roll straight into it. Then tell me in the comments if you'd pull the trigger. Start with the move that makes every 49ers fan sit up. Jauan Jennings has drawn real interest from the New York Giants, and that curiosity lines up with a glaring need in New York after their star rookie wideout went down. The rumor mill doesn't stop there, because the name linked back from the Giants' side is the kind of pass rusher who can change how offenses call protections the moment he steps on the field. Kayvon Thibodeaux is young, twitchy, and already respected enough to force slide calls and chip help. That's exactly the type of gravitational edge presence San Francisco needs with Nick Bosa done for the season. Now, this is still a rumor, not a fax to the league office, but think through the logic. The Giants want help for their rookie quarterback, Jackson Dart. Jennings brings physical roots, clutch third down reliability, and tone-setting blocking in the run game. The 49ers, meanwhile, are trying to manufacture heat without their top closer. If you can turn a potential one-year rental at wide receiver into multi-year control of a high-ceiling edge, you at least make the call. There's a cost, of course, and it's not just draft capital. Jennings is the guy who turns Shanahan's outside zone from good to mean, collapses corners in condensed splits, and attacks leverage on glance routes when safeties sit flat-footed. If he goes, someone has to pick up that dirty work, and those money downs, Ricky Pearsall's savvy and toughness, suddenly matter more, and the staff would need Jake Tongs and the backs to help cover the blocking margin on the perimeter. On the other side, Thibodeaux doesn't fix everything overnight. He'd have to sync his get-off with interior stunts, stay disciplined on read option contain, and translate terminology fast. But here's the truth. Premium edges buy your DBS time, and time means tips, takeaways, and third and longs. The NFC is wide open enough that one disruptive piece could tilt a game or two. That's often the difference between wild card stress and a home playoff date. And speaking of the secondary, let's talk about the other personnel lever getting pulled. San Francisco brought in Trey Hawkins for a workout. He's long, 6'3", with the kind of wingspan that changes catch points even when the ball is well thrown. Nobody should crown a mid-season tryout as a savior, but adding a tall, physical corner to the room gives Steve Wilks's sub-packages, or however the defensive staff labels them week to week, more matchup options against big X receivers and high-point merchants. The 49ers have lived on tight coverage without a bounty of interceptions, and with the pass rush less fearsome than planned, quarterbacks have felt comfortable testing windows they might have avoided before. A longer corner with decent trigger can shrink that margin. The transition won't be trivial. Pattern match rules in this defense demand fast eyes and clean communication on stacks and bunches. But if Hawkins sticks, he's a role player who lets you play taller on the boundary and press without giving up easy fades. Zoom out to the turnover problem and you see why these moves matter. When the differential tilts negative, it isn't just about giveaways. It's about what the defense isn't taking away. The 49ers have pounced on some fumbles, but the goose egg in the interception column has kept opponents fearless. That's a tough equation when you've lost your top play erasers up front and in the middle. You get off the field in this league by either blowing up protections or winning the ball in the air. Right now, San Francisco needs both. A pass rush jolt plus a longer outside corner won't turn you into 1985 Chicago, but it can push a couple of drives per game off schedule. 2 drives per game is massive. 2 drives per game is the difference between your offense calling the fourth quarter on its terms or chasing a script it didn't write. So let's flip the vibe with some genuine good news. George Kittle is trending back to practice, and that changes the math on offense immediately. You know what Kittle is as a receiver: run-after-catch bully, violent through contact, a middle-of-the-field magnet who drags coverage with him. But what really transforms the group is his blocking. Shanahan's run game blossoms when he can line up in 12 or shift Kittle into sift and insert rolls that turn a 5-yard crease into explosives. With Kittle stretching edges and sealing second-level defenders, the play action regains its bite. Linebackers get stuck in the mud, and the quick game steals easy yards again. That ripple effect frees Brandon Ayuk to attack intermediate space and puts Pearsall in more favorable matchups. It also stabilizes a quarterback room that's been juggling health. When your tight end wins his blocks and alters coverage, the ball can come out on time, the hits go down, and the rhythm returns. There's a psychological charge that comes with number 85, too. When the defense is bruised and missing its heartbeat, every sustained offensive drive is oxygen. Possession time isn't a vanity metric in this moment. It's your best friend. Kittle's presence lets the offense play keep away, stack 10 and 12 play marches, and keep a defense that's been asked to do too much from gassing out in the third quarter. If you're going to fight through a month without two franchise pillars on defense, the smartest path is to control the clock, hammer red zone execution, and make other teams play perfect to keep up. And that brings us to the hardest part to say out loud. Fred Warner is done for the season after a brutal ankle injury. You felt the air leave the stadium when he went down, and you could feel the huddle recalibrating in real time. Warner's value is bigger than splash plays, though he's stacked them for years. He is the communicator, the pre-snap adjuster, the tempo setter who aligns every check and makes sure every banjo and push call is heard. Without him, the 49ers lose their defensive metronome. It's one thing to dial up a blitz, it's another to have Warner's sense of timing as he disguises it, baits a throw, or flips a strength call with 5 seconds left because he recognizes a split he's seen on Tuesday's scout tape. You can't just copy that. What you can do is tighten pursuit angles, tackle as a gang, and replace his leadership by committee. Veterans talking a little louder, young guys growing up a little faster, coaches simplifying just enough to play fast without bleeding edges. If there's a silver thread here, it's that Warner himself isn't shrinking from the moment. He's already promised a legendary comeback and did it with the same calm intensity that made him an all-pro in the first place. That matters. The room listens. When your captain stares down a season ender and radiates belief, it gives everyone else permission to keep swinging. And belief isn't nothing. It's the fuel you need on a short week in a hostile stadium when you're leaning on call-ups and special teamers to steal a series. It also tells the front office that the locker room won't splinter if they act aggressively at the deadline. Moves like a Jennings for edge swing or a taller corner addition don't feel reckless when the leaders set the tone that there's still a run to be made. So what does success look like in the next month? Win the ball back 2 extra times total, not 10. Find 1 more explosive run per game with Kittle back to tilting edges. Convert 2 more third and mediums with play-action slants because safeties are hesitating. Hit the quarterback 3 more times a game with a fresher rotation or an added edge who tilts protections. These aren't pipe dreams. They're incremental gains that stack into real margin. And the playoff picture in the NFC is begging for a team with scars to figure it out late. Nobody wants to see a healthy 49ers offense in January if the defense has found even a B-plus rhythm by then. Here's where I hand the mic to you. Would you deal Jennings, plus a sweetener, if the return is a multi-year high-impact edge who forces protection slides from snap 1? Are you in on a long corner like Trey Hawkins to give the secondary more height and length, or do you prefer a veteran nickel with route anticipation chops? What's your bar for the offense while the defense heals? 27 a game to keep the train on schedule? Or can this group win at 24 if they ace the turnover battle? Drop your take, because front offices read the same temperature we do, and the pulse of the fan base always matters more than people admit. And because this community shows up, I'll say it straight. If you're riding with this team through the noise, smash that like, subscribe if you're new, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next update. Especially if the phone lines between Santa Clara and East Rutherford start heating up. Faithful, we've been here before. The scars don't scare us. The climb is the point. Now tell me, are you pushing your chips in on a pass rusher, or are you keeping the core intact and betting on 85 lighting the fuse?